Radical.
You know, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you have a whole lot of sense. This is a story that's insane. It is wild. It is a story I can't get into in great detail because it would take way too long. I'm just going to cover the basics of the story and give my thoughts on it as I usually do. But this is insane. I guarantee you it's insane. Shannon Sharpe used to be a player for several NFL teams, one of the greatest players at his position. And Shannon Sharpe is now older. He's in his mid 50s, and he's in the middle of building a sports media empire, believe it or not. He was undisputed with Skip Bayless, who had his issues I talked about a while back with women. But this is a special circumstance because you see, we got Shannon Sharpe, and he's in his mid 50s. And just like I said, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you have a whole lot of sense. Shannon Sharpe, in his mid 50s, a couple years ago started talking to a 19-year-old, which is a bit strange. I mean, it's legal, but it's a bit strange because Shannon Sharpe has a daughter in her 30s, a daughter that told him she did not want him talking to women younger than her. And 19's a fair bit younger than his own daughter. Maybe she's worried he would hit on her friends. I don't know. But like I said, perfectly legal, just kind of like, but strange, right? But hey, as long as things are legal, you can legally do whatever you want to do. But just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So Shannon Sharpe met this 19-year-old when they were both working out at a gym. And I guess they had that in common. Other than that, I don't know much things in common a 56-year-old has with a 19-year-old. But they were talking. Then they hooked up. She was also an OnlyFans model. So I'm not sure if he met her in the gym or maybe she was talking about which gym she went to. I'm not sure about the details of that. But she's an OnlyFans model. And I've talked about OnlyFans before and the kind of women that are on OnlyFans. You probably shouldn't waste time with a woman on OnlyFans if you're serious. But, he's not serious. He doesn't want to settle down. So he's got money, he's got wealth, which is perfectly fine. But you got to be a little bit more, you got to be smarter about the women that you go after. And any woman that's on OnlyFans is going to be about manipulating men and taking money from men. So if you're in a position like Shannon Sharpe, and years ago even, before he started, the nightcap, before he started to possibly secure $100 million deal, I heard, with that podcast, before even, I think, Club Shay Shay, before even all of this, he probably had the idea to know that he was going places. He was on an upward trajectory. So, because his small head is making apparently all the fucking decisions, he decides to hook up and start a relationship of sorts with this OnlyFans model. And then, a couple months back, it was leaked audio. It's around the same time people were saying that he was gay. Apparently, he accidentally leaked audio of him nailing some woman that was not this person. And apparently that made that person pissed off they was talking to. So he's talking to several women at the same time. Well, doing more than talking to. Now zoom ahead to what's going on right now. Right now, he got caught. He got trapped, more to say. Because this woman has played Shannon Sharpe. Played him like a fucking fiddle. Played him like a piano. Played him like a damn instrument. Because in all this time that they had been dating, she had been saving text chat conversations. She had been recording audio. And the most shocking thing about this is, in the time I have, I can't get into all of this. But the most shocking thing about this was, apparently she was recording Shannon Sharpe in her house. I think she maybe had hidden cameras. I don't know the exact details, but she was recording them banging. She was recording their intercourse. She was recording all that. Now zoom ahead to today. This is just too. This is insane. I guarantee you, it's insane. I don't have the text right in front of me because I'm not near the computer. I wish I was near the computer. I would tell you the details about the text. But apparently, I found out what baby gravy is. She was texting him things like, "I want you to put that baby gravy in me, and give me a big black baby." Okay. And then she talked about how she wants to lick his a-hole and then marry him. Crazy shit, right? I think there was and the other one that this might get him in trouble. Like I said, she probably was like leading him, and later on the idea to, get money from him, a good bit of money. She said she wanted him to put a dog collar on her while he's banging her from behind. A dog collar, and then choke her while he's banging her. I mean, they had a freaky relationship, right? And even if it started off to where she didn't think she wanted to get money from him, I think what pissed her off was the fact that he was sleeping with another person, as the audio revealed several months back. And then she's figured out, well, I'm going to fuck this motherfucker. I'm going to fuck him over. Now there's real audio that was released. You may have heard it. You can probably easily access it online, to where he's talking to her. And it could be out of context. Because when you have a freaky relationship with a woman, sometimes you talk dirty to her, right? She was recording the conversation. She only released the part where he said, like, listen, you know what? If you do that, I'm going to choke you. And you do not have a choice in the matter. And then she says, oh, I don't want to be choked. And he's like, yeah, you do. You don't have a choice in the matter. So that's problematic, right? That's problematic. That's the part that's problematic. Also, in the text conversation, she says something about like, I begged you to put on a condom. You didn't put on a condom. No means no. And then he just says, call me. Like he doesn't deny any of that in the text conversations. So anyway, she has this $50 million lawsuit against him. $50 million. And he knew how damning all this was, because he tried with his attorney to settle with her for $10 million, or tens of millions of dollars. He tried to settle with her. And Shannon Sharpe before even said, settling with someone doesn't mean guilt, but it means a guilty conscience. Also, there's this clip a lot of people are playing of Monique, who's a black female comedian. And she said something along the lines of like, you need to get with someone your own age, like myself, I don't think she said it herself, but she said, you need to quit dealing with these young girls, which is prophetic right now. She gave him the advice because he's 56. He's out here dealing with these 20-year-old girls, not thinking that one of these trifling hoes is going to try to take him for everything he's worth. Not thinking that. Like I said, thinking with his little one, not the big head, thinking with the little head. So he's got all this money. He's building this media empire right now. He's on First Take, the biggest sports show, with Stephen A. Smith. Like I said, I'm not going to get into all of this. If you want to, you can do your own research. There's a lot of YouTubers talking about this right now to fill in the gaps, the cracks that I'm leaving. The last thing I'll bring up is Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, a lot of people were thinking, hey, this is his guy on First Take. He's going to have his back. Stephen A. Smith didn't throw him under the bus, but said, hey, I talked to the president of ESPN, keeps mentioning his name, and, we're talking and we're watching this situation very closely. You don't want to hear that. When you hear we're watching the situation very closely is meaning they're watching for other stuff to come out. And believe me, there's always a little bit more that comes out and comes out and comes out. So it's not a situation where like, hey, we believe in him, we trust him, he's going to get through this. No. This is a different situation. And I think secretly, Stephen A. Smith is a little bit jealous of other people and the success they get. I can kind of sense it. So, when they began First Take, I don't think Shannon Sharpe was quite as big as he is right now. What really put him over the top was that interview with, My pimp named Slickback, Cat Williams. That conversation, that was huge. That went viral. That catapulted him into the stratosphere to where he's about to, maybe if he hadn't already signed it, he's not going to sign any $100 million contract right now because of all this. He was catapulting possibly beyond Stephen A. Smith when it comes to the sports realm. And you see Stephen A. Smith weirdly has talked about running for president or some shit like that. I don't know. The problem with Stephen A. Smith is he's got ambitions to do everything. He doesn't just, he's been on TV shows. He's apparently trying to run for president. He's trying to do everything. He's trying to be huge, gigantic, beyond sports media. So it's a funny situation to where, you have Skip Bayless was with him now, and you know where Skip Bayless is. Nowhere prominent. Max Kellerman he got rid of. I'm telling you about Stephen A. Smith. It's almost like he brings these people in, and I'm not insinuating anything or whatever, but I'm just saying he brings these people in, that's his rivals, and then after they're with him, for some reason, I don't know. It's weird how that works, right? But anyways, it's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing for this guy. And he can't control himself. He has a problem with control. It could be the fucking roids he's on because the guy has no neck. He's 56, so put some things together. He's taking some shit. He's taking something to be so old and so jacked. That's usually not how things work. Usually not how the body works. So he's taking something, right? Maybe what he's taken, it caused him last year to almost get in a damn fight with somebody in a Memphis Grizzlies game. So he has the temper, probably the roids, and he's taking whatever to counteract the roids because they make your stuff shrink. So he's taking something to counteract that, the little blue pills, and he can't keep his stuff out of these young 19-year-olds. So this is a recipe for disaster. This is how empires fall. If you are that old and you have that much money, you have to be smart about things. And he should have took Monique's advice, and the advice of many people, the advice of his own daughter, who's a lot older than this girl that he was, messing around with, to just settle down. Maybe it's he wants to, still be that guy and prove that he's really young and he still run all these hoes and everything like that. There's no problem with just finding one of them, or maybe someone a little bit older than 19, and just settling down. At this point, he has all the money. He has this fame, but you're telling me he just can't control his little head just for a little bit? Or at least find somebody that's not a fucking Instagram or OnlyFans model or some shit. Well, I'm not linking in Instagram with OnlyFans, sorry. Okay, that's everyone, all these girls are on Instagram, but I'm talking about OnlyFans. Like you don't freaking know that this is a bad situation and these people might not be recording stuff. But nowadays, like, there's so much technology out there. These women are going to be recording everything, especially if they're pissed off at you and you get with another woman, something like that. Hell had no fear, you're like a woman scorned. And one thing I just saw is apparently Shaquille O'Neal is not fans of Shannon Sharpe. They were going after the same girl, I think, when they were in their 20s, and he's held a grudge ever since then. So Shaquille O'Neal was out here offering millions of dollars, apparently, to get some dirt on Shannon Sharpe. So it's not just the fact that, he's stupid, he's making these bad decisions, but apparently he's made some enemies through the years. And enemies, when they have a lot of money, will help lead to your downfall. So yeah, let's go ahead and rest in peace the whole Shannon Sharpe sports media empire he was building. And here's a funny fucking thing. He has a podcast, Nightcap, right? Oh, one more thing about the First Take. You don't think he can get bounced from First Take? You don't think that, huh? They fired Michael Irvin for less. They got rid of Paul Pierce for less. Oh, Shannon Sharpe, he's too big to get rid of First Take. He's only on there Mondays and Tuesdays, dude. He's not even there through the week. Only 2 days a week he's on there. And now they have Pat McAfee. You don't think they can't have Pat McAfee come in and fill in a little bit on Mondays and Tuesdays? They got Pat McAfee in their fucking back pocket. So you don't think, that. Um, shit, I lost track of the last thing I was talking about. Let's see, Shaquille O'Neal, Pat McAfee, First Take. Damn, there was something else I left out, but it's just gonna have to be left out, right? It's just damn. I shouldn't have went in that other direction. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm not gonna add anything to it. I'm just gonna say it is so insane and crazy to see these people like Shannon Sharpe that have all this money, all this, not just money, wealth, all this generational wealth. Oh yeah, the lawsuit. He settled for, he tried to settle for 10. Tried to settle for 10. That tells you he knew some shit was coming out. Yeah, the best part, I can't leave this out. Okay. You know you fucked up. You know you royally fucked up. When after you hear that there's a sex tape, you know, and you worry that she's going to release a part of that sex tape, probably the part where he's riding her like a pony and choking her and everything like that. He says, you need to release the whole tape. The fuck? Have you ever heard of a situation to where someone feels like they need to tell you to clear themselves? Hey, you release the whole tape. You not just a little bit of it. You release the whole tape. It's almost like he doesn't care. Like, you know, your situation is fucked when you are begging somebody to release not just a clip it, the whole sex tape. And that tells me also, I think he kind of gets off and he wants people to see that him at 56 is banging 20-year-olds. So, hey, okay, he's kind of a voyeur. But no, like, you know, you need to release the whole tape. What the hell? So you have a situation where legally his team is trying to get her to release the whole tape, and that's going to be permissible evidence to the judge. Imagine being the judge in this case. You're like, oh shit, I gotta watch this whole sex tape with Shannon Sharpe. Oh man. This could all be turned into a movie one day. It's just that insane.